How often do you think that you're exceeding the speed or you're exceeding the volume of speaking? What I mean is that in certain cases, when we're talking about some situations, so the volume of the voice is expected to be low, but we tend to, make it the highest. Or sometimes the speed is expected to be slow, but we tend to have it the fastest. Why does it happen? Most often, it happens because of too much exaggeration or too much excitement, or sometimes there are some other emotional perspectives as well involved in this case. But do you think people find this situation positive or welcoming? Of course not. Extremity is a situation where we exceed the speed, the volume, the expectation, and even the feeling that a person is expected to get out of something. When we're delivering a speech, when we're talking about a situation or something, so we have to maintain the balance about every aspect of the situation. So a voice should be balanced. The way you're talking, how you talk about something is more important. The manner of speaking is important. The words, the ideas, the concepts that we're using in our speech is way more important. But sometimes we happen to cross those lines of limitations and expectations of people. Our speech should be limited to certain rules and norms of the society, and it should be based upon the expectation of the audience, irrespective of the position that we are in. Sometimes our position might expect us high, but we have to get low because of the people, because of the audience, or because of the situation outside. We have to observe everything when we're talking about it. We have to observe all angles of the situations. When we're describing something, it doesn't have to be described in a way that one might like while the other might not. So as I mentioned earlier, there should be balance. Balance should be maintained so that both sides can at least benefit, the minimum. But the question is that what if we cross those limits? What if we exceed the volume or the speed of speaking? Or we cross the lines of the limits that are set in advance? We definitely will come across a situation that is not expected, and that situation is known as extremity. Extremity is the situation when we cross the limits. Any situation, limits for anything. When we cross the limits, it definitely harms others. Because too much of something, when it's not wanted, is negative rather than being positive that we expect to deliver. So let's think about an example. Imagine you're sitting in a meeting and you're giving 2 minutes to talk about the topic that is already chosen. So you take your time and you talk for 10 minutes. Although people were prepared to listen to you for 2 minutes, it means that you exceeded the limit. So what happens? You won't believe. People were only prepared to listen to you for 2 minutes. The rest 8 minutes you talked was nothing. Even they might have pretended to be listening to you, but they don't listen to you after the limit is crossed. So why should we pressure ourselves while there is no impact on the others? This should be kind of fooling ourselves or making fun of ourselves. So when something is not expected to happen, or when something is not welcoming, we should avoid it. The main purpose of the topic is to avoid being extreme in certain situations and maintain the balance in everything. That can help us be welcoming and most often useful for people. So maintain the limits and do not exceed the boundaries of the situation that is assigned for you. Avoid extremity in everything. I mean, in everything. And live a balanced life. That is all. Thanks for listening and watching.